I told my class the other day, wouldn't it really be so different if you came to this class out of a desire to learn? You know, just out of the pure desire to learn, and that we didn't relate to each other as student and teacher, but as people sharing knowledge and information. And that I don't have to take the role of an authority over you. And that I don't have to motivate your education through fear. So that you do what you are asked to do because you're afraid of getting an F, or because you want to get an A, or because you want to be great one day, or because you want status and all of these other things. Can't you see then at the very center of your education is an education based on fear and false pride and false motivations, so that when you get through, you will be a twisted human being, and therefore you will introject that kind of value upon the population as a whole? People who are educated without spirit, without a reference for life, are educated to become prostitutes. They then will sell their services to the highest bidders, regardless of how what they will do will be used. So consequently then, the African education is one that must be fundamentally redirected. I don't think we gain a great deal if we are narrow in looking at African education and Egyptian education. If we assume that all we have to do is just reimpose it upon ourselves, because we have to face a reality. We do live in a different historical time and a different political, social, contextual time, and that, of course, has to be considered when we look at education. We have to recognize that the Egyptian was educated within a nation, within an empire. And of course, it means then that even when the Egyptian was educated in a very practical sense of saying, okay, you get educated this way and you will become a scribe and you will become respected by men and so forth and so on, you will make big money and this and so forth. You have to recognize that we can't quite motivate our own children in this light. You see, the most practical motivation in education is this: go to school so you can get a job. Go to school so you can be employed and gain status and so forth. But you must recognize, when you own your own nation, this is compatible with advancing the interests of that nation. But when you are in the midst of another nation, and when you are a dominated people, to advise and motivate your children on that basis means that they have a narrow concept of education. And in following through their professions, they will support directly and indirectly the very system which dominates them. So we have to recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that it is not enough just to educate our children in reading, writing, and arithmetic. And I think even those of us who call ourselves Afrocentric have forgotten about that. We think that it is enough merely to train our children in Afrocentric thoughts and orientations. However, to train them in Afrocentric thoughts and orientation in mathematics and science without also preparing a nation for them is filled with problems. And often it means then that you will educate maybe a very brilliant mathematician who has Afrocentric ideas, but who in the end still must work for IBM and AT&T and the rest. And he'll find himself frustrated and upset, but in order to earn his bread, he's got to work for the enemy. So consequently then, a part of education, ladies and gentlemen, is the building of a nation and the building of institutions so that we can hire those ones we educate. so that in working to fulfill their own needs and desires, even though those needs may be somewhat selfish, they are still working to advance the interests of the nation. You can educate your children into scientific thinking and mathematical thinking all you wish. Unless you have an economy, it will come to nothing. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, doing an advanced project research project in physics costs millions and millions of dollars.